NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. And with me today is Marquita Sykes, Family Support Services Specialist, and Dr. Veronica Haynes, Site Coordinator for Camp Young. Welcome back, ladies, to NPS Now.
Thank you.
Great to have you on again. It's that time of year again. This is the second year we'll be hosting Families to Camp, Marquita.
Yes.
Explain what Families to Camp is and when it's going to be held.
Okay, Families to Camp is an opportunity for our parents and our students to all get together. We're going to have teachers there doing sessions for parents where they'll get to work hands-on along with their students. And we're going to have it this year at Camp E.W. Young. The date is going to be on March 28th, 2015, which is a Saturday, and the time is going to be from 10 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m.
Now, what grade levels are able to participate in this?
Yes, we were going to have sessions all the way from pre-K through 8th grade. So it'll be sessions from the babies all the way up through middle school.
Oh, that's exciting. Dr. Haynes, it's in your backyard at Camp Young, the beautiful Camp Young, the space by the water and all the beautiful trees and nature. What type of activities or fun learning opportunities will you guys have for the kids and parents?
Well, the activities will be centered around math, science, and social studies. The parents will have a chance to go with their children out on the grounds, engage with nature in an innovative learning way. And it'll be totally hands-on and parent and student immersed in the learning.
Walk me through a day at Families to Camp. What's going to happen during that day?
Well, the parents will be able to participate in 2 1.5-hour sessions with their students. In some sessions, they'll learn how to use the math manipulatives that the students use in the classroom. Also, they will be engaged in measurement and all types of reading activities that can support learning beyond the school day.
Mm-hmm. So, Marquita, how do you think the things that they're going to learn here at Camp Young, are they going to be able to apply it at home?
Yes, well, the things that we're going to be, some of the activities they're going to be doing is going out into nature and looking at non-living and living things around camp. So they're thinking about the parents being able to go home and do some of these things right outside in their yard, going into the grocery stores and picking different foods and talking about how they use those outside of school and things they can do while in school. So.
Now, while you're at camp, do you have a most popular activity that they like to do? Anything in particular?
Well, the parents really like getting out in nature. Most of our parents did attend Camp Young as a child. In fact, they enjoyed it so much, a lot of them like to sing the camp song to me when they come on grounds. They
Really?
remember it. And they like going out, engaging, picking out the things in nature, seeing how it applies to the learning, how they can attach their learning to the SOLs. And
Okay, I was
things
going to put you on the spot about that song, but I'm not going to do that to you.
Thank you.
So the families, some of the parents are coming back really to see if the camp is a little different or if it's still the same.
Yes, and parents really enjoy coming back to camp because it brings back a lot of childhood memories. Some came for a week for the whole full camp experience, and then some and stayed overnight. But then some came just like our second graders do now, and came for the week only for a day experience.
And for some of the viewers who may not know what Camp Young is, what are some of the activities that Camp Young has or opportunities there?
Well, the second graders come, they get water safety in response to how many children are getting in trouble around and in water in the Hampton Roads area. Also, they get environmental science lessons in our science labs. And also, teachers come out and continue the learning that they do in the schoolhouse because everything they can access at the school, they can access at Camp Young. But most importantly, our kids love to come and get out in nature and experience a camp environment that they normally don't do in an urban environment.
Exactly. So you can go swimming, they can go nature. Is it paddle boating? Is there a...
No, they
Okay.
just do nature walks, and one of the things they like doing, making s'mores. They like to go out on the trails and just to engage in nature.
So Marquita, what do you think you want parents to take away from this experience from Camp Young?
Well, when they come, we want them to take away just all of the great learning experiences that they can do at home with their child. It's also helping them to get ready for the SOLs because it's going to have math and science there. So the parents, once they go there, they're going to have some takeaways that they can take home and continue to work with their child at home and making sure they get ready because testing is coming very soon.
So it's like you're doing a mid-year Families to Camp, but this is not taking the place of Parent University.
Right. We will have Parent University again in the early next school year. Usually have it in September. So we will have another Parent University that's coming up. But we want to do this Families to Camp because this is the opportunity for our parents and our kids to actually work together, hands-on, and have some activities that they can continue to work on at home, and also help them get ready for their SOLs.
Now, what makes this different from Parent University? What's the difference between the two, or is it one to enhance one before the other?
Well, both are for our parents to, engage in their students' learning and to get information that they can take home and continue to work with their students. But for the Families to Camp, the difference between most of our parent universities is that the parents and the families are working together with Families to Camp. Usually with our parent university, our parents are in sessions most of the day, and the students are going to a children's program where they have teachers that are working with them on different activities. But the parents and the students are separated at Parent University.
Okay, so how can parents sign up for this event, and is there transportation involved?
Yes, flyers have went out at all of our schools, our elementary and our middle schools. To all of the students by the parent liaisons. With those flyers, it has a registration form on the back where they can complete, and they're also put in there if they're needing to ride the bus. The buses will be leaving from the elementary schools closest to their home. So once they sign up on a registration form, we'll know that they're riding the bus, and we'll have a bus there for them, and we'll get them the times of when they need to be there for pickup. So once they do the registration form, they need to make sure to get back to the parent liaisons or the office managers in the schools.
Wow, that's a lot. So what was the turnout like last year?
We had about 100 parents, but this year we're looking almost to double that because as I've been out in the community, I've had parents stop and ask me about Parents to Camp. So it has been well advertised, and parents are gearing up and ready to come with their families.
And I know you all are prepared and ready.
We're excited.
Recap for me the date, time, and all of those little nuances of how parents can sign up again.
Okay, it's going to be on Saturday, March 28th, 2015, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it's going to be held at Camp E.W. Young. And then on that day, they can register and come just by doing the flyers in their schools. If they did not get a flyer, please go to your school and ask for your parent liaison or ask your office manager for a flyer or registration form for Families to Camp.
Great. Anything else you want to share about Families to Camp?
No, we're just excited, and we're hoping that all parents take advantage of this wonderful opportunity to come out and share with their students so that they can all be successful during the school year.
Great. Yeah. Great to have you on the show again, and thank you for coming.
And thank you for having us.
Okay, we want you to stay tuned for more NPS Now.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Setmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today we have Larry Rubama from the Virginia-Pilot Sports to talk a little bit about sports, basketball. But before we do that, Larry, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the sports reporting business per se.
Well, I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area and got a scholarship to Ohio University. And it was the first taste of getting into journalism. Worked in Syracuse University, covered them a little bit for 2 years for radio. Then I went to Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I actually got to cover Michael Kadyr's first season in baseball.
Nice.
I also covered Purdue basketball, Purdue football, including Drew Brees. And then I came here 15 years ago and been covering high school sports since.
And that's what's good about that is people that are watching this, so student athletes, you can always be involved in sports, and journalism is just one way to do that. So that's a unique career path.
And it's the reason why I got into it. I figured, you can't play it forever, so there's a way to get into it, still be around sports, have a passion for sports, and be able to do something with it.
And you do have that passion. You do a very nice job.
Thank you very much.
At your craft. All right, we got you in here because you attend high school basketball from day one to the end. And this is something that we're doing for the first time is picking an all-city team. We typically see in the paper where there's an all-Tidewater team that you're heavily involved with, you and your co-workers. We also have the conference teams that lead to the regional teams and to the all-state teams. So we want to pick our own. And I have you here to assist me. Just in case, so I can blame you when people see me and say, "Hey, why didn't I get on that team?"
That's right. That's right.
I'm going to need some help with that.
Gotcha.
All right, we're going to start with just basketball in general. We've had some good teams this year. Talk about the boys basketball and the conference champions, the different conferences, and how Norfolk did.
I look at Norview. Jonathan Wilson's been doing an incredible job. I mean, he gets those guys. I love the way they come to the game dressed up, and he builds them up. He builds them up, which is important, and you can see it as he goes on. The thing about this team this year is he can play 8, 9 guys, and that's been the key for them. From the guard, Damian Madison, who he's a take-charge guy. He's a scorer. He's a distributor, but he's also an in-your-face defender who you can tell he brings that spirit to the team. Incredible.
They have, like you said, they have 8 or 9 guys. They go deep.
Yes.
And Davon Brown, Stewart, his brother, Lamont Stewart, dynamite players. What about those players?
I like them all. The thing about them is they don't have a true big man in terms of like a 6'8", 6'9" guy, but they got guys who don't mind crashing the boards. Perfect game was last week. I mean, they had 3 guys crashing the boards at all times, and their defense is just. He gets them all in there, and nobody's getting tired, and they hustle. They just bring tremendous hustle. I also like they can shoot the ball. I mean, they were killing the ball from 3-point range with the big guys as well. I just think they got a good chemistry, a good nucleus.
Okay. All right. Our next conference champions are on the girls' side. At Conference 17, we have Lake Taylor Titans, who seem to always be there. It's kind of a broken record, but it's a good record.
It is.
So talk a little bit about the Titans.
Well, they tell you they strive off of. I mean, they just just basically feed off of Sandra Sawyer. She's an intense coach. Their team brings a lot of passion to the court as well. You can shut down the main score, but somebody else is going to always step up. They just bring a lot of intensity, and I think that's what brings them in. Plus, everybody knows about Lake Taylor basketball.
Yeah, they've definitely have made a mark in the state and in this area. So as they continue forward, we definitely wish them good luck. Now, in the 5A girls section, we have Maury High School, who broke down a big wall. So talk a little bit about Maury.
Beating Princess Anne, that was like, I saw Shanique Hicks talked about that. To beat them, it was a big goal. Then they beat them 3 times. That was huge for the program. Not being able to go to that next step is okay, but they at least show people, hey, we can play basketball here as well.
Yeah, they definitely had a team that had 7, 8 players that contributed throughout the season that allowed them to get to that next step, and a lot of good things looking forward for the Maury program.
And it has to give them confidence as well to know we've done it. We beat them. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's continue to bring the program a little bit further
now. I mean, we have other teams that had great seasons. Booker T is always there. They just came up a little bit short in their conference tournament. And then Maury High School, I mean, Jack Baker, 700 plus wins, always consistent program. So, and then Lake Taylor has stepped up and gone, and they're in that region tournament now, which is first time in a while. And then with Mike Evans being coach at Granby High School, another good season. Talk a little bit about the Comets and how they did this year.
Well, I like the Comets. They came out, nobody knew what Mike was going to bring. They knew he had coached on the girls' side, but what could he bring to this boys' team? Had a couple transfers come in, and he had to build that team together. Started off slow. They played a very tough schedule. People don't realize the teams that they played against early on. I mean, the Norcoms and Morys and Booker T's, and they took their defeats. But I knew once they got into the conference play that it was going to help out, and it did. They went to the conference and rolled. The only 2 losses they had were to Lansdowne, and you could see that in the team.
Yeah, I mean, all of our teams are competitive. So, and I don't want you to compare the cities, but we have a lot of depth in our city. How do you think our city ranks amongst the area?
I think when you look at Norfolk basketball, it's heads above. I mean, it's above everybody. And I think what it is that intensity that they bring. A lot of these kids know each other anyways from the neighborhoods. And so there's that constant like, hey, we're going to beat you. When they go outside, I think it's like, oh, we know we can win. And I think that's what gives them the confidence as well. I mean, they ran in, like I said, with Granby, played a tough Lansdowne team, which is known. But they knew that they could play well. If they played well against Booker T, they played well against Norview and Maury, they knew going out to that conference that they could do well.
Okay. All right, well, this is why we got you here. It's time to pick this all-city team for Norfolk Public Schools basketball. And we're going to start with the girls. We'll start off with Shanette Hicks. Talk a little bit about Shanette Hicks.
I watched her in the game against Princess Anne, and she has the intensity. I mean, she wanted to win so bad. In fact, there was one play where there was a loose ball. She couldn't get it. She pushed her teammate to get the ball. She had that fire that just kept their team coming. Even when they got down by almost nearly 20 points, she still had that fight that she was going to come back and lead the team. I mean, she's an incredible leader, and she's going to do great on the college level, I believe, as well. And she made people realize and take notice of Maury.
All right. Next up, and we'll name two from Granby High School, Janasia Somerville and China Nixon. Talk a little bit about those two super sophomores.
Yeah, I've seen them twice. They played against Lansdowne. Both times I saw them, and I didn't realize that they were only sophomores. The game that really impressed me is when they lost to Lansdowne at Lansdowne. They were down, they came back. They showed a lot of poise. I mean, these are young girls that I didn't realize they were that young. Came in there, played poise, brought them back. That's only going to help them. That loss is going to help them tremendously for the next 2 seasons. For sure.
They're exciting to watch.
They really are.
Next up, Lake Taylor High School has a Division I player, Gigi Smith.
Yeah.
What about Gigi?
Gigi brings that certain kind of attitude that you need when you're playing ball. It's like, you know, you knock me down, I'm going to knock you down and some. And she brings that to that team. I think that's what you need. You need that toughness, especially to get ready for the state tournament. You got to have that toughness for the tournament as well, and you know, any of the playoffs. And I think she keeps it going. I mean, she's tough. She's tough.
Yeah, she's really bought into to Coach Sawyer's style of play.
Right.
And that's probably going to help her when she gets to the next level at Old Dominion University.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Okay. All right. The fifth player from Maury High School, Tiffany Daniel.
Yeah. Strong girl inside. I know the first time, we played Princess Anne recently. She played a real big game. She handles the middle, swatting shots, making you alter shots. When you come inside the middle, you better watch out for it because she's around. And I think that helps. And then she also brings that inside and outside game for Maury. I think she got a tremendous future as well.
Now, always you have a first team, and then what we decided to do is have an honorable mention team. And one player that we thought belonged on that team was from Maury High School, and that's Bria Stipp. Talk a little bit about Bria.
I was real impressed with her in the Princess Anne game. She came inside. I mean, here's a young lady. She's new to the program, to the area, and she came in and she showed why. She's got that stiff last name, and she proved her. I think to everybody else, this person definitely to watch next year.
She was definitely an aggressive player from Maury High School. And then some others. We had Joanne Williams from Lake Taylor, Kira Cooper from Lake Taylor, and then Ebony Knotts and Asia Deal were freshmen that we're definitely going to be excited to see down the road. So a lot of good players. A lot of players deserve it, but we had to pick, we had to go with those 5, and we had to pick that honorable mention. But I appreciate you having input there. So all right, we're going to move on to the boys.
All right.
And this is something that is your passion, because you're always at a boys' game, and that's what you're reporting on. So we're going to start with Norview High School. Damian Madison. Talk a little bit about Damian.
He is a little brother, of course, of Rayshawn Madison, and you can tell because you knock him down. I mean, he is just feisty. He's always having to prove himself. Smaller guard. He's got the shoes that shine, are different from anybody else's. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and you can tell by the way he plays. A tremendous defender. He can take it to the hole. He can shoot the outside shot. He can find the open guy. He just brings so much to that team. He's the leader. You can tell he's the heart and the soul of that team.
True. Great point guard, and that's he's the coach on the floor as well. I really like his aggressive play. All right, Norview has a second player.
Third and fourth.
Mr. Brown, talk a little bit about him.
I like him. Not a big guy in terms of like strength-wise, but he comes inside. He's getting rebounds all the time, block shots. He can shoot from the outside. He can take it inside. He's a guy who, reason why he made first team. I think he was first team defender in the conference. Just a really good player, and he knows he's also a team player, which is so crucial for them. He's got to be a team player.
It seems like when they need a play, or when they need the crowd to get into it, he's above the rim, dunking the ball. I mean, he's had some fabulous dunks this year that have really been exciting for the game. So well deserved.
Definitely, definitely.
All right, Lake Taylor High School. Mr. Smith.
Smith, you look at his size, you're like, come on, this guy can't play. And I saw him several games where he's a slasher, he can shoot from the outside, he's a leader of that team as well. The good thing I like about it is that even if he comes out the game, they got other guys that surround him, but when he's on the court, you know he's going to take care of business.
And Travis has had a super year that's definitely got them to that regional level where they haven't been in a while.
Right.
And Coach Brown is relying on him to take them to that next level.
That's right.
So, all right, our fifth player, or our fourth player, Anthony Williams from Maury High School.
Here's a guy who I think if he played 100% all the time, we would be talking about him all the time. But there seems sometimes, I think, because they have another great player we'll talk about in a little while, that sometimes I think he waits to see. He doesn't want to disrupt things. But he's a guy who can play inside, outside. He's a strong guy, rebounding, good defender. He's lanky, so he can cover pretty much anybody, whether it be a small guard or a big guy.
Yeah, and he's been there since a freshman, so he's had,
Exactly.
you know, he's been in the fire for 3 years, and as a senior, he's really going to be counted on as that leader next year moving forward.
I think when he realizes how good he is, he's going to be even that much better.
Yeah. So, all right, our fifth player, kind of easy, Matt Coleman.
Matt Coleman, who's he though? Last year as a freshman, so similar, he took it slow. When it came time for him to step up, he stepped up and took the team. When you watch him play, you don't realize he's a sophomore. I mean, here's a guy, he's one of the best players in the state right now as a sophomore.
Right.
I can't imagine what the next 2 years are going to be like.
Yeah,
with him.
it's going to be exciting to watch Matt, how he grows and matures, because, again, he's only a sophomore. And he was the leader of that group, really the leader in the area. Folks came to watch him play.
Oh yeah, waiting to see what he was going to do.
So, all right, again, as you know, with everything, we have an honorable mention team, and Norview has somebody, Lamont Stewart.
Thinking about it, I didn't realize how well he shoots the three. I did not realize that because he plays inside as well. He has to, but he can do it from things from the inside and the outside. And he just brings another player in the game who, if you shut down two of the other players, he's a guy that doesn't mind rising to the top. I mean, he's played well all season.
Okay. Booker T, Jeremiah Jenkins, real quick.
Little guy. Big guy as well. You know, a little big guy. I'll never forget the game. I'll never forget his one over at Scope when he hit the game winner. Hadn't scored.
Yeah.
I don't think he scored any points the whole game. They gave it to him crunch time. He hits the key bucket to lead him to that
Yeah,
title.
he seemed to always come through for Coach Sandlin when a bucket was needed.
That's right.
And his size is, you know, he plays much bigger than he is.
He definitely does. And the team's got to count for him. I know he'll leave him up for a little while, hit 2 or 3 shots, and then watching him the whole rest of the game. And then you just can never stop. I mean, I just like the way the style he brings.
All right, Granby has 2 players.
Yeah.
They were on the border for making that first team, but they had a great year. Darion Green and Milton Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw, incredible jumper. I mean, he had some dunks this year that were, I mean, he was way above the rim. Physical guy, but I think the thing about it, he had to play out of position sometimes. A lot of times he was covering the biggest guy on the court, like when they played Lansdowne, he's covering a guy who's 6'8". He's more of a 3 guy who can shoot from the outside, but inside, I mean, he just got great jumping ability and rebounding.
Okay. And we always want to see who's out there that's a young player that's doing well. Lake Taylor has somebody by the name of Joe Bryant who can shoot the ball, handle the ball, plays defense, and again, only a freshman, but playing a big role for Coach Brown.
It's going to help him tremendously. Being in the playoffs right now for him is going to help him the next 3 seasons. He's got a chance to see what it's like, to feel what it's like. He has a great coach who also played guard as well, and I almost call him by his nickname, but Kenny Brown. He's going to learn how to play that position, and I think as he continues to develop, we're going to see great things from him as well.
Okay. Larry, great information. Appreciate your assistance in picking this team, the first team ever, and we want to try to continue that moving forward. So, again, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to more NPS Now. With us today is Tammy White, Site Coordinator for Easton Preschool, and Teresa Calabrese, the speech therapist at Easton Preschool. Welcome, ladies, to NPS Now.
Thank you.
You have a lot of great activities geared to go on here at Easton Preschool. And let's tell our viewers out here what Easton Preschool is and what you do.
Sure. So we're one of two early childhood only centers in the city. We are located off Newtown Road, so we're at one extreme end of the city, and we serve primarily students with disabilities. We do have one class of the Virginia Preschool Initiative preschool, but the rest of our students are placed by the Department of Learning Supports. We have a little over 200 students at this time, and we do provide occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy as needed to implement the individual goals that our students have.
Wow. What age range are the students there?
2 through 5.
2 through 5. And so you're a speech therapist there.
Yes.
Now, what do you do in your role as a speech therapist?
We interact mostly with the kids, obviously, and we kind of go into the classroom, we model appropriate language, we encourage interaction, and we work on IEP goals as they're written in each student's individual IEP.
This is great. And a lot of folks didn't even know Easton Preschool existed if their child didn't attend there. So thank you for the explanation. So you have a community fair coming up on, what is it, March 25th?
Yeah.
What's going to be going on in that school that night?
Okay, so because we have so many young students for whom this is obviously their first public school experience, and we do have so many kids with disabilities, we decided last year that we wanted to put together an event to connect our parents with community agencies, nonprofit, private, and public agencies that support preschool students and young families, and specifically some programs for kids with disabilities.
So who is this program for, and who can attend this event that night?
It's geared for preschool parents, so particularly our Easton parents, but other preschool parents around the city are welcome to attend. They can just call the school at 892-3290, let us know that they're planning on attending, just so we can have a rough idea. We are going to do some light refreshments and provide babysitting for ages 2 through 6 the night of the event, which is from 5:30 to 7. And some of the vendors and agencies that we're going to have include the Norfolk Public Library, Norfolk's Ready by 5 initiative, CHKD Care Connection, Tidewater Autism Society, Down Syndrome Association of Hampton Roads, so just a wealth of community agencies that support all families of preschoolers and also some disability-specific agencies too.
So what do you hope to accomplish with these vendors there, connecting with the parents and the students?
With strengthening families, promoting positive engagement between the parents and the children with disabilities, and thus promoting some school home carryover, because we're doing a lot to work with our kids within the school setting, but we want some of those skills to carry over into the home and community setting, and sometimes it helps parents to have some support for those home and community areas.
And name some of the vendors again that's going to be there.
Oh gosh, I think we have about 15 or 16
That's
that have
a lot of folks.
RSVP'd. The ODU Speech and Hearing Clinic is attending, Families of Autistic Children of Tidewater, Moms in Motion, which is an agency that works with parents to get Medicaid waivers, which can be a source of respite care and funding support. So we've got a lot of help for parents.
So Teresa, she just mentioned ODU students are going to be there. What are they going to be able to do that night?
The ODU Speech Clinic, mostly they'll just be kind of a resource for parents. There are outside agencies where students can receive additional speech therapy in addition to what they're receiving in the schools. And the ODU Speech and Hearing Clinic is one of the resources that parents can access.
Oh, good. So they'll be sharing their information with parents as an additional resource. That's great. Well, I understand, Teresa, you're involved in, along with you, Tammy, a Peer Buddy program. Tell us about the Peer Buddy program.
The Peer Buddy program at Easton Preschool is for typically developing children ages 3 and 4. And it's a general preschool curriculum that children are learning right alongside their peers with disabilities. And they're there to promote language and engagement and play skills for our students with disabilities in the classroom.
What's a particular day like with a Peer Buddy? And how old are the Peer Buddies?
The Peer Buddies are about 3, maybe 4 years old, and they come in and put their backpacks away and go to the snack table just as if they were enrolled in a general preschool curriculum.
So how long are they there interacting with the students?
It's a 3-hour program. There's an AM session from 9 to noon and a PM session from noon to 3.
What has been the interaction been like with students?
It's been a very positive gain for our school in general. The students with disabilities learn to interact with their peers instead of learning to interact from an adult. They're learning from the typically developing children in the classroom. And the typically developing children also are gaining an understanding and some
Tolerance and
empathy for children with disabilities.
Is that why you think it's important to do this, Tammy?
Yeah, I think it's a really great program. My son, who is now in middle school, was actually a peer buddy during his preschool years. He was a peer buddy for 2 years. And not only did he learn empathy and just being tolerant of people with differences, whatever those differences may be, he really got a strong academic base. And that's something that I'm not sure that parents totally realize, that in that preschool setting, the children are being taught by certified licensed degree teachers. They're learning letters and letter sounds and colors and shapes and all the typical preschool skills and curriculum. So in addition to teaching them empathy and a lot of positive social and emotional skills, it really prepares them for kindergarten academically as well.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing this Peer Buddy program?
Since before I came to Easton.
Really? So it's been a while. It's
but
part of Easton's curriculum.
Yes, I think it's been going on probably for about 10 or 12 years with some ebb and flow in there. We really tried last year to do a big push to really increase the number of peer buddies. And so we have a nice program this year with I think about 12 or 14 peer buddy students attending. Total.
How do parents feel about this Peer Buddy program? Parents of the students that are in it, on both sides.
Well, I can tell you that I know that one of our peer buddy parents has a child in the program this year and then a child that's a year younger, and she's already been asking what she needs to do to get the next younger sister into the program. So I do think that parents of the typically developing kids see the benefit, and our parents of kids with disabilities really love this. It's really best practice in early childhood special ed to not have students with disabilities completely isolated only with other students with disabilities. So this provides some exposure to good language models, good social skills models, good play models, and I know that our parents of kids with disabilities really like and appreciate that.
How can parents get their child involved in the Peer Buddy program?
They can call the school or email me. My email contact information is on the NPS website.
Matter of fact, share that with us real quick.
Sure. My email address is tmwhite@nps.k12.va.us. Our school phone number is 892-3290. They just need to let us know that they're interested in the program. It is a half-day program. It's open to Norfolk residents and to the children of NPS employees, even if they live in a different city. It does require parent transportation, so there is no bus. You have to have someone, yourself, a family member, babysitter, who's able to drop your child off and pick them up each day. And we do have a screening process. We want to make sure that, again, the children are toilet trained and are good language and social models. Our first screening is scheduled for May 12th from 3:10 to 3:40 p.m. But we'd like to have you RSVP so we know how many teachers to have ready to do that screening on May 12th.
This is awesome. Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Tammy, for coming on the show and talking about your community fair and sharing more details about the Peer Buddy program. So hopefully you get some phone calls after this.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Other participants. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS, Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. And if you have any great story ideas or information you'd like to share, email us at npsnews@npsk12.com. Again, thank you for watching NPS Now.